Yeah.
What's up, baby?
You like my royalty-free rock music?
Is that what that is? Oh man. Hey, speaking of public domain, is Caffeine and Nicotine a Into It Over It reference?
Yeah. Okay, so
Yes.
it's an Into It Over It reference, but it's also a Northbound song.
No way.
Which was an Into It Over It reference itself.
Oh, that's awesome. Hell yeah. I didn't even know.
What's up, bro?
Dude, I'm hanging. I'm chilling. Me and my little buddy are, you might hear her a little bit, but my wife went to get lunch and she's not back yet. So this little baby's eating peanut butter and jelly. But, yeah.
We're here for it. We're here for
baby.
it. Dude, so anything new since I spoke to you last
Dude,
night?
Not really. I woke up at 4:30 today and went to work like a drone.
Oh, 4:30 in the morning.
Uh-huh.
I was like,
shaft. I woke up in the future.
that's dark. Dude,
there she is. Sweet.
I'm like, I haven't been able to sleep lately.
Uh-huh.
I went to bed. I got in bed right after we hung up the phone, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe I played a little bit of video games or something.
Word.
Got in bed. Literally laid there until 9 o'clock in the morning. Just like my brain is so broken right now.
Yeah. Were you doing anything?
No. I'm just laying there doing nothing.
I love it. That's amazing.
Just laying there thinking about how much I wanted to sleep.
I love that you're like our brain's natural reaction to like, oh, what if I don't sleep enough is to make sure we don't.
Yeah. If you think about it, it's like when someone says don't think about it. It's like, okay.
Well, yeah, for sure. Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
Got it covered.
Yeah.
You can't sleep? All right, just try to sleep. Okay, I got it.
Oh my God, why didn't I think of that? Yeah. Oh, this isn't working. There we go. Figured it out. Oh.
You got set up.
I'm trying to. What the hell? Hold on. There we go. Oh, rotations. Boom. We're in there.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Today, I feel like loose format.
Cool.
Talking. You know what I mean? Maybe some people
come
along. Hello to anyone in the chat. I'm going to simultaneously wave at absolutely everybody. One thing that I'm really bad at is I get caught up in the conversation and I don't read what people are saying.
Okay.
So I'm going to try really hard to read what people are saying.
Try and keep an eye out. Yeah.
But, yeah, usually I talk about how I met the guest.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So why don't you just say who you are, what you do.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about how we know each other.
Sweet. Yeah, absolutely. I am Hayden. I play guitar and I sing in a band called Tigerwine from Colorado. And Colorado. Yeah. That's me being from Nebraska, I bet, is why I say it like that.
I didn't know that.
Podunk.
But yeah, Tigerwine and Northbound toured 3 years ago.
Right now, we were on tour 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, 3 years ago, our record came out on that tour yesterday. Our record turned 3 yesterday. Our EP that we released on that tour.
Whoa. And it came out when we were at that like weird burger place. I remember we were all like sitting together and we were like, congrats, dude. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I just remember we played a show in Boston and then we did something.
Yeah. The Boston show was hilarious, dude.
That was the one that was in like the back of a thrift store, right?
Yeah. Yep.
That show fucking rocked.
It was amazing. Yeah,
I don't give a shit. That show was awesome.
It was.
It was a great show.
Yeah, absolutely. I had such a good time, and like the guy who ran the place was like insane in the best way. He was awesome.
Remember, he had like a massive dog.
Yeah. Or he had like a dog walking around the whole time. The promoter was hilarious too. Like, he had like quintessential like Boston accent going on, and it was just amazing. I remember we were just like Oh, like, yeah, tell us where to park again. Like,
Yeah.
it's so funny.
Yeah, I feel like that was like my second time ever playing in Boston, and
Yeah.
there's two places in the country that I'm just flabbergasted by accents. Okay,
Mhm.
One of them is Boston. The second one is like New Orleans.
Yeah.
Because no offense to anyone from New Orleans, but what is that accent? It's so crazy sounding.
Yeah.
Like
exactly. Yeah, it's so weird.
it sounds like, I don't know. A lot of people say it's because there's a mix of like French and
Yeah. I
don't know. It sounds great. It's like every time I play in New Orleans, I'm like, you speak like that? Like,
yeah. Do they speak French there too?
I think there's a lot of French history there.
Okay. Word. Oh, because I guess there's the French part of, or the French Quarter. Is that what it's called?
The French Quarter.
Quarter. Yeah.
The French Quarter. No.
Yeah. But yeah, it's so crazy, dude. Shane just commented and said that about Boston, that Steve got yelled at before the show, and I completely forgot he did. He outside of a Dunkin' Donuts, the most Boston thing ever. We were like, we had just loaded in or something, and we were walking some, cobblestone street, and we like walked out of this Dunkin' Donuts, and this guy walked up and asked Steve if he had a cigarette, and the guy was like, or Steve was like, "No, I'm sorry, I don't." And he said, "Well, what are you sorry for?" And Steve was like, "Oh, because if I had one, I'd give you one." And the guy was just like, "Okay." And I think he had like turned around to walk away already. And he turned back and he was like, "You're a real asshole, you know that?" And Steve was like, "Okay, I'm sorry."
Dude, people out there, they've got a certain vibe, a certain attitude, and if you can't match it, you're done.
You're done. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And they sniff it out. Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah, they're on the hunt for it as well. Like you can get caught, which is hilarious to me.
Yeah, they're like, funny. You're not from Boston? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so good.
Yeah. There was a local on that show that's like doing stuff now. I can't remember what they were called now that I really ought to know because we've talked on the internet with them since, but they were super, super sweet. They're very kind, and they're like touring and doing stuff now. If I think of it, I'll say it, but yeah.
That rocks. Yeah, no, I don't remember anything. I remember every band being awesome.
Yeah.
On that show, but I don't remember like specific.
Yeah. Except for Daisy Head was not very good, but.
Yeah, Daisy Head, yeah. I don't know. There was always just something about them that I was like, dude, it's really weird how, Northbound and Tigerwine did this tour together, and like, I don't know why this band Daisy Head was there.
Afterthought. Yeah, I thought they were called Afterthought, naturally.
No, that was a great tour though, and that was a long tour. That was like a deceivingly long tour. Like, I remember like looking at the flyer and being like, "Oh, this is nothing," and then when we were on the tour, I was like, "Holy shit, this is a long guy."
Yeah, for sure. We were out there. We were very out there for sure. For us, but yeah, dude, it was so much fun. We like I think my favorite place to tour is either East Coast or the South, which is coincidentally the two places we get to tour the least because we're all the way out west out here. But
right,
yeah, but man.
You know what's crazy? Speaking of like places to tour and stuff, I've never played a show in Colorado ever.
Oh, because you guys didn't get to or something, right? Or you were supposed to?
Every single time we play there's like a freak accident with routing, and there's like 20 hours to make this 18-hour drive, and we just don't make it. It happened on the last tour we were on too.
Wow.
There was like this humongous blizzard. It was like the first snow of the season, and from Salt Lake to Denver, there's like one
garbage. Yep.
And it's really like treacherous even when it's not snowing.
Yeah. It's also ugly as sin. We usually drive that drive at night because it's just god awful to look at. But
yeah. But a lot of people say go up through Wyoming or whatever, but we couldn't. It was just snowing so bad, and it was our first time touring with a trailer, and we were just like,
God.
We were like, yeah, we are just gonna take our time and not go to that show. So I've never played in Colorado. Been there like 5 times. Never played there.
There you go. That's crazy. I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, because and then the first time we were supposed to play there, I was on FaceTime with you as I'm driving through the Rocky Mountain Pass.
Yep, I remember that.
We were like, we briefly mentioned this last night. We were like FaceTiming for like 2 hours.
A really long time.
And I was like, dude, we're not playing the show, but like, can we at least hang? And something happened where like we couldn't hang. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, I mean, I bet you it was just that you guys were in Denver and it was super snowy and I was 45 minutes away in the snow, 2 hours away. But
right. Something like that.
That sucks. Yeah, going up 25 or those roads up from Springs to Denver is just like a nightmare. But
yeah. Colorado is really cool though. I mean, I like it there. I had a weird moment with Andy last time when we were coming back from the West Coast on this last tour we did. We stopped at this does this ever happen to you where you stop at a gas station in the middle of literally fucking nowhere?
Yep, that you've oddly been to 4 times.
And you're like, yeah, this is the one with the Cinnabon inside, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like,
yes.
It happened in Colorado, and Andy, Andy takes photos with his film camera.
Uh-huh.
And there was like this watermelon trailer outside of this gas station. And he was like, dude, I took a picture of this watermelon trailer 3 years ago. I guarantee it. We've been here before. And then I was like, yeah, this is like when we missed the Denver show. This is the gas station we went to and ate Subway pizza.
Yeah. That's so funny. Like, oh my gosh, dude, it's so like
it happens to me
that's
everywhere.
That's one of those things where like when you tell people, like when people ask like what tour is like I think the expectation is like, yeah, like you get to like experience these cool things and like go hang out in these awesome places. And like our experience has been we just like eat Taco Bell in every city in the country. Like I wonder what theirs is like, dude. Like they gotta,
Yeah, I could tell you which Taco Bell to avoid in Lexington, Kentucky, if you want. But like my knowledge of the country, otherwise, is not.
Yeah, we've been messed up there, dude. Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, that's so funny. But like, oh yeah, that's like those, and there are like crazy gas stations in like weird spots when you get out eastern Colorado as well, or like when there's this gas station with this huge gift shop in it that we always end up stopping at. Like apparently when we leave home to go, like, because every time we'd go play East or play Midwest, we would play in Lincoln first. And so there's always this gas station that we'd just always be, ready to get gas when we got there. And we just always would go in there and like we knew the people in there, they don't know us. And there's this gift shop that's bigger than the gas station shop. Like with all these like knickknacks and like all those little like ceramic cowboys and stuff and like crazy things going on. But yeah, Sean just said the one in Nebraska, they got all that sick weed merch. That's true, they do.
Is weed legal in Nebraska?
Oh, Big Boppers too, Sean just said. Yeah, they have these giant ice cream sandwiches called Big Boppers that we always get as well. But
that sounds good.
Like that's the shitty souvenir. That's so funny. Also, shout out my boy Nevo, dude. Nevo, I don't know how to pronounce your name because we've never spoken actually in real life, but my boy from across the earth that we've talked to on the internet a ton of times. But thanks for tuning in, Brej. He told me to wash my hair, but
yeah, I hate to wash your hair. Do you wash your hair?
Not a ton. No. No, I feed it regular, but I don't wash it very much.
That's fair. I don't wash my hair that much.
Yeah, it's more manageable when you gotta show who's boss a little bit.
Dude, when you have long hair, like my hair is decently long right now. I've got this weird top knot item thing going on because, I can't stand to wash it because it's just such a pain in the ass. It's just
it goes this way.
Yeah, dude. Especially me. I'm like I've got the Jewish poofy hair, Jewish curls.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean my hair's not actually really straight. It's just heavy because of all the syrup in it. But, like the grease and garbage. Yeah.
Well, why don't you give me like the abridged version of the last 3 years of your life in terms of the band.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's the internet and stuff, but we talked last night
Yeah.
about how if you're not speaking to a person, it's hard to know exactly what's going on.
And even posters are slivers,
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's tough these days.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
So what's been going on?
Yeah, I mean, since we last talked, I have, a lot has gone on. But I mean, as far as the band, we did a bunch more touring after we parted ways, and we we had our record out right before we met. And so after that we wrote a ton, and we made a record last year early. And we've kind of just been, as everyone, usually how it goes is, you record and then you send it to whoever you can think of, obviously, as you know, I'm sure. But yeah, and so we ended up going with Tooth and Nail, who, it's funny, they when we were originally, dreaming and thinking about labels to work with and stuff, they weren't one that really we talked about a ton. And what ended up happening was they came after us, and they were so we hit it off really well, and yeah, it just kind of happened, and we kind of just reached this moment where we were they're awesome, and they want to do shit, and they want to make all this stuff happen, and they want to make things good for us. And I'd so much rather that than to be a small fish in a big pond, and be having to try and split a promotion budget with a big old band or something like that. So we ended up going with the people that we really got along with, and that we wanted to, that we had mutual love. And so and then we announced the record, we put a couple things out, where we haven't traveled much. My daughter was born last June, and then Sean had a daughter as well in last December. And so now we're
hang out for a couple of years and you guys are popping kids out.
Seriously. It's all it takes. Yo, where did you get a Tigerwine shirt in a thrift store? Worry Club.
Dude, Worry Club is dope. I've been having a little bit of a DM correspondence with Worry Club.
What is that?
I think it's one artist, but
cool.
I'm not sure if it's a band artist, but it's really cool.
Sweet. Hell yeah. Yeah, we've seen him in town here, obviously, at thrift stores, but
yeah, it's always kind of insulting when you see your shirt at a thrift store.
You're like, I definitely know the person that this belongs to.
Yeah, last night,
Kalamazoo. Oh, that was Sean's in-laws, probably.
Tracing it back.
Sean's wife's family, yeah.
Dude, last night, because I'm stupid, and I was Googling when our album came out, what day, because I couldn't remember if it was the 20th, the 21st, or the 22nd. And I Googled the flaws in everything or something, and I saw someone listed. I went to images because I was just trying to also download the artwork, because Lord knows where that went over the years on my computer. And I saw a few people listing the t-shirts that say the flaws and everything on Depop and stuff, and I was oh, that's kind of sick. And then I was you don't want it anymore.
You're talking about that black one with the red, and then it said flaws and everything in yellow. Yeah, I had that as well. I think I gave it to my little brother because I was wearing mediums at the time because I didn't know how to dress at all. But I just apparently didn't want to be comfortable ever, because I was just wearing mediums and just being in them and being so constricted. It's awful.
You're pretty tall, right?
Yeah, I'm a tall drink of water. I'm a lanky guy. But yeah, I wear larges and XLs now because that's so much better.
Yeah, I have a saying that I go by, and it's I'd rather be comfy than cool.
Oh yeah,
it's my vibe at all times. So
that is Shane Douglas Riley's MO.
You can catch me at a gig in sweatpants.
I have caught you at a gig in sweatpants before.
I've went to my friend's wedding reception wearing Birkenstocks. I was that's appropriate.
My wife just commented, "Do you know how to dress now?" So That's where we're at.
Boom, roasted.
Yeah, I wrecked my ass.
No, but so about Tooth and Nail, I mean, that's one of those labels that you had your eye on from the beginning, you're saying? Was that like a Target label?
So
it's not.
Yeah, it was the weird thing about it. Like they weren't, originally in that, like, how when you like when you make a new record and you're just like, all right, who's gonna pick this one up, like or like
let's
just kind of have
this
those
around.
Like you have that kind of dream conversation where you're kind of sitting around a table and you're like, dude, this would be amazing, we should send it here, or maybe like I know a guy who works with these guys and maybe we could talk to somebody and all that stuff. And they weren't, I mean, I don't know that they were not, but they weren't one that I remember ever, like, at the very beginning being like, that would be so amazing, just because, I mean, I don't know that we knew that they were doing a ton or what, but it was just that
I feel like that's a label that really makes sense for you guys.
Absolutely. And once we started talking to them, it was like, this is such like an awesome fit and it works really, really well. And yeah, I think our thing was we were just worried about like the whole pigeonhole thing, because like when on our last label was at one point a Christian label as well. The same, like Tooth and Nail has kind of done the same thing trajectory wise, where they've been like in the early 2000s they were like a super like musicianary label or whatever. And what kind of happened with the last label was sometimes we'd realize we were just playing like the same festivals kind of over and over, which were always so much fun and always great. But I think our worry, like with a label with that connotation, not that I think it's a bad thing or anything like that, but like was to we didn't want to be playing Sunshine Fest every single year or whatever, and that's it. You wanted to kind of have like those more open things, and it seems like they're like, and they're super willing to kind of go where we want to go and do things with us and things like that. But yeah, it just seems like the fit was just awesome, and they just impressed the shit out of us. It was really cool. But
I mean, that rocks, dude. Sometimes it's not what you expect. I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know. I'm a little surprised that isn't your vibe, or that wasn't your like initial thing, because I don't know, it just sounds like it makes so much sense to me, but I do get it. And
I know it's so when we talk about it now too, we're like, why didn't we think of them? Like that would have been I don't know, like, it just was, I don't know why they weren't exactly, but for some reason it just kind of clicked, man. It was a great couple conversations there at the beginning, and it just kind of like did you see Sean say nice blinds?
I was waving at people who were joining, because like when people join you can like click a thing that says wave at them.
It's right next to the camera switch thing.
I think I just double tapped and it flipped. Here, let's try it again,
dude. Oh, rookie mistake. There it is.
I'm still I'm still learning over here for sure. I'm still learning. I'm definitely not a professional by any means.
No. I mean, who is a professional at Instagram Live at this point, though?
John Mayer.
Oh, that's true, huh?
Have you seen any of his stuff?
Doesn't he do like guitar lessons and stuff?
He does a lot of stuff, but in the quarantine, he's got this show called Current Mood, and it's just him literally just like saying whatever's on his mind for like an hour, and it's fucking awesome. It's really cool. And he's got like a sample pad with like sound bites, and like he'll say something really stupid and then he'll like hit like a laugh track. It's like really calculated and done well. He's a professional.
Oh, that's awesome. That's like such like a stark contrast to the like celebrities in their like $1 billion houses in their bathtubs and stuff, being like, guys, we're all on the same level.
No, John Mayer just goes live and he's like, I'm not okay, guys. How are you? It rocks.
It has nothing to do with guitar.
Well, sometimes he does like lessons and stuff like that.
Oh man.
Or like he'll just talk about his like insane ability to shred. But
oh man,
I don't know. So your record. Sorry, go ahead.
It was a question that didn't matter at all. Go ahead. I'm so glad you said something, because as I was like starting to say it, I was like, this question doesn't matter.
Yeah, I told you, when you're having a conversation in front of people, when it goes silent for a second, it's like, yeah. But I think that's part of the fun. It keeps it.
Yeah.
So your record, okay, this is me pretending I'm a press person. Your record comes out May 1st.
It does.
And it's called Nothing Is For You.
Yes.
Okay, here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you.
Wow.
Your last album was called Die With Your Tongue Out.
Yeah, lots of U's.
I love that title. I love it even more since I know the story behind it.
Uh-huh.
And I'm wondering if there's a story behind this album title, and if there is, if you are comfortable sharing it with me.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We're like, as you know, and as people who know us know, like almost every record and release and track title has like an inside joke or like a meaning other than what it is.
Yeah, but you got it's like it might be an inside joke, but it's not corny. Like die with your tongue out is like.
So that's
sounds
just
like an ass beater. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. It's so funny because it sounds so like balls to the wall. But it's just literally what like my little sweet grandma being like, well, don't, or no, my dad, who's my little sweet dad now, but being like, like, well, don't, sit there sticking your tongue out at each other. Just somebody do something, like be kind, make a nice move or whatever. But then it just kind of worked out that it sounds so balls deep, but like
sounds so sick.
Yeah. So
and I love that story. It's very like pure.
Yeah. Thanks. Nothing's For You is from the mind of Steve, who, for those who don't know, is our guitar player. He and his like best buddy from like when he was a kid, Nick came with us and did merch on one tour we did. And at the time he was working for a company who basically like orchestrated, like ad stuff, like working with certain like basically working with influencers and like, product placement.
Influencers like me.
Yeah. Yeah. Like doing product placement on people's Instagram and stuff.
Sure.
And we were having this conversation where he blew our minds in half. Like he basically, I think the conversation went something like, he was like, hey Shane, what's a cymbal company that you like? And he said such and such. And so he looked up and he was like, okay, so this thing where they worked with this person, he's like, I guarantee, like I've done a deal like this where like this worked out for this company because of this, and this worked out for them because of that. And so it wasn't because they wanted to make something better or because they wanted to do something that was good for us. He's like, nothing is for you. It's for what it's meant to look like it's for you, and it's not. And so but it's all for the benefit of, whatever. And so we started playing around with that and we talked about it a ton. And the title track, Nothing Is For You, is kind of about all that Steve wrote. That's like the song on the record that Steve wrote all the lyrics to, and I kept like all of his lyrics instead of, I didn't do any of my own. And yeah, like it just fit really nice. And I think it was like super cool. Also the artwork is a really cool story. Well, not like a cool story, but a cool thing as well. Another one of like Steve's childhood buddies lives in Mexico, and his girlfriend is this like amazing artist, and she does like these crazy things where it's like it's a mixture of like drawing and painting and like sewing and I don't know if I have I don't know if I have any like reference of it on me, but like there is but you can look at like our profile pictures or whatever, and it's what it is. There you go. And it's just this like it's a high-res photo of it, but like the actual thing itself is like 8 foot by 8 foot, and it's like this big canvas, and you can see where she's ripped some of it off and like sewn and drawn and painted and amazing stuff like that. And she let us have it, which is really cool. Which, I mean, we don't have the thing. I would love to, but
yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah,
crazy. Here, I don't know how this is going to translate.
There you go. Yep, that's the one. Yeah, but
yeah, super cool. I always like what you guys do artistically. I remember you telling me with the last record, you were like, yeah, I don't remember who did it, if it was one of you guys or a friend, but you said that they wrote the title with their non-dominant hand.
Yeah, and all the lyrics too.
Yeah. And that's something like I've carried with me, like when I'm
cool.
I'm trying to like design something or like just want to make something look weird, I'm like, let me write it with, because I'm right-handed. I'm like, let me write it with my left hand, because it like just comes out really cool and like free.
Yeah. I mean, that was like so cool. He basically like, it was our friend Michael, who he basically had this idea that he wanted to do this like art piece where it was like a defaced photo album or whatever. And so we ended up making, I think what ended up happening was he kind of let us force it be an album layout. And since my whole thing was like hearkening back to a lot of like lessons and like things I learned as a kid and that I wanted to apply to my adult life at the time, I think it was like, it just worked out perfect that it seemed like a pissed off kid like scratched up a photo album or something. But
yeah, it looks, I like
it. Thanks, dog.
Yeah, dude. So there's 2 singles out, right?
Yep.
I wrote in my notes, because I'm a pro, as I said before. In my notes, I was listening to the singles, and I really, really like the song Scarecrow. I think that might be like one of my favorite Tigerwine songs that I've heard.
Dude, thank you so much.
It feels like a bit of a silent heater. You know what I'm saying? Like,
thanks, dog.
Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Like silent heater. Like on my album, there's like songs that I really love that I feel like certain people really get it. You know what I'm saying? It's, you know, I feel like, and I don't mean any disrespect because it's a great track and people should like it. But
you mean just not a traditional heater?
Exactly. It's a silent heater.
Yeah.
It's a sneaky heater.
Yeah, it's silent but heaty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, you are a father.
Yeah. That was like the literal first song we wrote, we finished writing for the record. But yeah. Really? Yeah, there's gonna be, I mean, there's not 1,000 people in here. Well, I can probably say there's gonna be a music video for that song coming out. And then also, today we're here in a couple hours, we're gonna announce another single as well. So everybody pre-save and stuff, because that helps a ton. Like all the pre-saving records and stuff on Spotify and Apple Music and that stuff, as you know, is a big deal.
Yeah. You remember when were you ever like an iTunes guy? Would you order records on iTunes?
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. And you'd stay up to get it.
The second it came out, like it would download to your iTunes because you already pre-purchased it. Yeah. And now Spotify.
Yeah, dude. Same diff, but it's free basically.
All these privileged children out here. No, I'm just kidding. It's free, but it's not really.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing how like streams now coincide with sales. Like, do you know about this? There's a certain amount of streams that you can hit that equal 1 sale of the song.
Oh, really?
That's how like Chance the Rapper won the Grammy and stuff like that.
Wow.
Because Chance the Rapper's never sold his music ever.
Wow.
So they put him in with like album sales and stuff like that based on his streaming numbers. And that became kind of, as far as I'm aware, that became kind of like the gold standard of how things get released and how streams can account for a sale. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So it's
like craziness. There's got to be
you can sell 0, but if you have a lot of streams on paper, you've sold music. It's very odd.
Wow. I always say there's never been, as time goes on, it's even more true. There's never been more ways to make less money, man. It's crazy.
It's really crazy. And now, you know, it's really hard. I noticed with the whole quarantine thing, it's like really fighting for space on the internet now, let alone the physical realm of playing music. And it's really hard to like break apart from it and not even like get bummed or whatever, you know what I mean? Because sometimes like I've been doing these like twice a week for like probably the last month now. And it's sometimes there's like 80 people watching and sometimes there's like 9, you know what I mean? And it's just like, I think it's all about just consistency and doing your thing and just like, it'll come eventually. I don't know. It's hard. You can't force anything. I try to always remember, someone told me this once, like if you hold on to something too tightly, it might break.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Yep. So I think that's like, I do agree that there's always less ways to make money and there's less whatever, because everyone, I said this on my last show with Coley from We the Kings, like everyone's like an influencer now. Everyone's like Like
Steve always said, everyone's a brand.
Yeah. And I used to make vlogs and stuff like that, like 3-4 years ago, and I would get clowned, dude. Like people from my town would like, I don't even care. People from my town would like publicly make fun of me on Twitter and stuff like that for doing vlogs. And now, I said this on the last talk, these same people are unboxing their groceries on Instagram Live. Like, I was just early on in the wave. Like,
yeah, I know.
Like, so did it again. God, fuck.
Hey, Sean, help me out. I must have messed up. Sean just said I messed up. I think I must have misread a text before I came on here.
It's a single, a different day.
I might have misannounced something, but it's all good. But, but yeah, dude, like that reminds me of when I was a kid and like I used to wear, like, you know how everyone always used to go to the, oh, hey Sean, what did I say wrong? I think I messed up.
Yeah, I saw in the chat, he just said,
oh, singles out Friday. Badass.
Friday.
Oh, so we're announcing that it's out Friday. At least I am.
The pre-save is out today, though.
Oh, okay. So I got it mostly wrong.
You got it half right.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So
well, cool. But yeah, that reminds me of when I was younger, and like, you know how we always used to all go, like all of us, I'm sure, went to the thrift store and bought girl jeans and stuff. Like those same dudes who are bullying you about it in school, you see them out of high school and they've got V-necks down to their sternum and they've got super tight jeans on from, you know, Aeropostale, and you're like, dude, what's going on? And you want to just be like, what's up?
Yeah, what's up now, dude? What's up now? Everything is cyclical, you know what I mean? And
yeah, oh yeah.
When you put yourself out there in a certain way, I mean, you being in a band, doing content online, whatever it might be, you know, you are putting yourself out there to criticism.
Yeah.
And it's weird because there's an inherent sense of narcissism involved in being a musician, I think. Because you're like, oh, like, you no, like, I know that everybody is famous and huge and making tons of money, but I'm different because of this. You know what I mean?
There is hubris.
It's kind of like last night we were talking on the phone, like, you know, there's something inherently a little off about people who choose to do what we do.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yep. Yeah. Like, oh, it's so funny. Like, do you read comments? Do you read YouTube comments and stuff as a singer?
Yeah. Because I don't get that many, but
yeah, no, yeah, I probably get half as much as you do. But I like, dude, like we did, like, this is a humble brag, but we did an audio tree a while back, like a couple years ago, like a year or two before we met you. And
yeah, I remember watching it.
Yeah, and like it was the 31st day of a 32-day tour or something like that, and I was just like blown out. And of course I couldn't help myself but look at the comments, and there was just like a couple that were just like, and it was mostly, it's so funny how you can read 100 good ones and one bad one, and it's like, I suck, but like there's like 2 out of 100 or whatever that was like this was really good except for the vocals were awful. I was like, I know.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Dude, I keep doing this fucking thing where I flip the camera. Yeah, but here's the thing about that, okay? Think about it like this. This is how I think about it, okay? Because I've for sure gotten like bullied online in my music videos or like live videos. People make comments, you know, people are just horrible. People make comments about my weight, or people make comments about my voice, or whatever it might be. And it's so simple if you think about it like this. Hayden, have you ever left a comment on a YouTube video ever?
No.
Even a positive one?
No, it's never occurred to me.
You know the comedian Chris D'Elia?
Yeah, absolutely. I love Chris D'Elia.
He posted this video, and he's like, if you've ever commented on a YouTube video, you're fucking crazy. I don't care what it is. And it's just true. It's like, first of all, you're commenting on a YouTube video.
Yeah.
What? Second of all, you're commenting a negative thing.
Yeah.
And I always, I relate it to this. It's like, you know, if that's what you're doing, if that's what you're up to, your life kind of blows, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
like I don't even need to respond, or I don't even need to let that get under my skin, because there's actually a YouTuber who said this, this dude named Casey Neistat. He said, you know, bullies and people like that, their life is their punishment. Like,
there you go.
You don't need to do anything to them. It's just okay, you're negative. That sucks for you.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just like
that's not on me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's so funny. Man, I've never thought about that. I don't think I've ever commented on a YouTube video.
Most people haven't.
Yeah, that's true, huh? Yeah, it's like on, you know, most people don't leave a review.
At least people who create. There's people who create, and there's people who watch.
Yeah, exactly.
And most people who create, if they comment something, it's usually something positive. And if it's not, if they have nothing positive to say, they just don't say anything.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Why would you knock someone who's doing the same thing you are, just in a way that you don't identify with? Like, there's plenty of other like rabbit holes you can dive down on YouTube.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. There's like a subculture for literally anything. You know what I mean?
Yep, so absolutely.
It's a weird thing where I think like almost being empathetic towards people who are being hateful is like the move.
Yeah,
because it's like, if you're in that place where like this is something you're doing, you might not be good.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
Yeah, and I guess like I sought those things out to see what people were saying, and it's not like that's on television or something, someone being like, yeah, this guy sucks, or like these guys aren't good live or whatever. But I mean, not that we've gotten comments like that, but like that bad, but like there's
what it does happen. You make art, you put yourself out there, not everyone's gonna like it.
Yeah, and also, I mean, gosh, when you're playing every night, it's not always gonna be perfect, and like especially early on, I mean, there were nights when like on our first few tours where I just like shit the bed, like it was so bad. And like I would let it, you know, like everyone's been through, like I would let it get to me super hard, and I would like, yeah, and I'm sure that it was like, if I looked at that back then, I'd probably be super embarrassed, but like at the same time, I'm super, super grateful for it, because it made it so that I could now have that perspective, and hopefully in the future, like years down the line, I'll be able to look back at it now and be like, oh, I shouldn't have been doing that, or I shouldn't have done that. Like, dude, I watched a video of us recently that came up on my like YouTube feed of us playing a festival, and my like attempt at banter in between songs, I was like, how old was I? I'd have been like 23 or something like that, or 22, and I was just like, if I was watching that now, I'd be like, this guy is so annoying. Like, I bet this guy sucks. And like, I thought I was like doing a great job at like, I don't know whether I thought that, but like, it was so embarrassing. And yeah, and it makes me hope that like in a few years, I'll look back at now and be like, oh, that's embarrassing, I'm doing this better. Or like, you know, I hope I'm always getting better.
It's all perspective. And it's just, I think you got to give yourself permission to be human. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah.
Like, it's just like, whatever, man. Like, everyone grows, and whenever you look back on stuff, it's like, well, that was what I was capable then. Like,
yeah, true.
Like, that's where I was at then.
Yeah, I was redlining back then for sure.
It's kind of just like growing up too, though. Like,
oh yeah,
I look at things I said or did in my early 20s or my teen years, and I'm like, who is that guy? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just change, and it's a good thing. You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah, there you go. And I guess you can choose to be like, oh, what a dickhead I was, or you can just be like, I was 20. You know?
I'm human. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, absolutely. Also, yeah, I was talking with my dad recently, and I was talking about kind of the same thing, and his response was, he was just like, dude, I'm pumped that you're going to get to look back and be like, I did everything like all the way. I did everything big and loud, and like I never half-assed anything. As far as like that kind of area of my life goes, and I'm pumped on that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a good way to be. Just like going for it. You know
true.
I mean? Yeah. But enough with the YouTube hate and comments. Okay, I purposely, when we spoke last night, I purposely didn't ask you about the however you want to call it, the woodworking that you've been doing.
Oh yeah.
I'm super interested in it, and just tell me a bit about it, because I think what you're doing is pretty unique.
Dude,
with
thank you so much.
Skateboards and stuff like that.
Thanks. So basically, when I was younger, skating was a huge deal to me, and
Me too.
I thought I was gonna be pro, or I thought I was gonna be sponsored by a shop, or I thought I was headed for this is what I want to do, just like every kid who's ever done a kickflip. And I basically got good enough to really mess my knees up really bad, and so and then I started going to shows and playing music and stuff, and that was my new that's so how I am, is I'm no, it's this, no, it's this, no, it's this. And so what I kind of realized a couple of years back is I was that would be super cool to I wanted to start woodworking, and I wanted to do stuff something where I made just made things, and I was just itching for it. And I started to see on Instagram people who were using recycled skateboards, and I went down to the shop that I'd always gone to get boards, and I asked them if they had any, and they ended up giving me a pallet. And then I've been back. I've only been back there I think 4 times since, and they give me a big old pallet every single. I literally have 80 skateboards in my garage right now. And
broken skateboards?
Some broken, some broken, some pressured, some some fine, some from the sponsored guys who are in there getting a new board every couple weeks, and they just leave their old one. And so the landfills can't accept skateboards because they the glues that are used to put the plies together are too harsh, and they can't put them in a landfill. And so they just sit in shops, and they just and it's so sad. It's BC Surf and Sport, for anybody who's on that's in the Springs. They closed down forever because of the virus, which sucks. But yeah, that was such a cool thing. I actually as a super I have a couple of things here. So basically the skateboard plies all look really cool.
That look. How do you make it? Because when I look at a skateboard, I can see all the plies and the different colors.
Yep.
How do you go from a skate deck to
that?
It's so sick to me. I really want you to make me a knife.
Dude, do it. Hell yeah. So basically, if you look at this, the yellow, natural, black, natural, yellow, that's one skateboard's height. And so then there's just cut up a bunch of times and then put in a pattern and stuff like that. But yeah. Okay. So I do woodworking, and now I've gotten super into knife making as well. And I do I don't forge, but I do heat treating and here. And so this was just a piece of 1095 steel at one point, but yeah, so I just do, so the skating is the most important part of it for me, and being a part of that community still. But I've really gone down speaking of YouTube rabbit holes, I've gone down a huge knife making and metallurgy rabbit hole that I'm pumped on. Those are it's crazy. Like you said, you can find a community and find support behind anything, and it's just crazy how anything can be a comforting thing, or any group of people all doing the same thing can be. It's so weird. But yeah, so there's just a couple of guys that I message with on Instagram back and forth about skate knives and things like that, and it's a really cool thing that has kept me from going insane when I'm not on tour, which is really cool.
Right. That's cool. Yeah, I've definitely been down that rabbit hole of have you seen? I'm sure you've seen these dudes who take antique butcher knives, and they do these crazy scientific solutions, and they scrape all the rust off, and they handle, and it's
dude, that's how I go to sleep at night. I watch restoration videos.
Dude, it's such a dad. It's really cool. No, I think it's super cool.
Yeah, so dad. But
dude, what if you made something out of a guitar or something like that?
Dude, there is an Instagram account. shit, I can't remember what they're called, but there's a company that makes guitars out of broken skateboards, and they're gorgeous. They're so awesome. That it was really cool. But they're all like crazy bright colored because obviously it all looks like candy or whatever. But
yeah,
bitching.
Very cool. Speaking of guitars, are you guys still using baritone guitars?
Yeah.
Is that still an essential part of the Tigerwine brand?
Yeah, for sure. The berries are awesome. Well, I guess I am still Steve on. I don't think Steve plays a ton of baritone on the new record, but I play a ton of baritone on the new record. But yeah, it's just so much fun.
What a baritone guitar? I'm not super familiar with them.
So it's basically scale wise. So a normal guitar is what, like 25.5-inch scale, I think, and the baritone is 27, and a bass is like 30 or something like that. But yeah, so it's like right in between size wise, a guitar and a bass, and then it's usually tuned, like the standard tuning is it's B to B instead of E to E, so it's like B standard. Yeah, so we play in drop A when we play baritone. Yeah, it's dope.
That's heavy, dude.
Heavy shit, dude. Yeah, it's awesome.
Is your van still do you still have the same van?
Yeah, it's right there.
Is it still tricked out?
Tricked out?
Dude, I remember the inside of your van had like, I'm pretty sure it had like lights and like,
dude, the bunk bed. Yeah,
it was like ideal for sleeping in it, and you guys opted to sleep in the van.
That's true.
But like as a comfortable default.
Yeah, so it was amazing. It was like the best thing ever before Shane joined our band. We were just a 3-piece, and then once he did, like it was like still good, and then we ripped it out when one tour we realized that Shane was like opting to sleep in the front seat with his feet on a merch bag instead of sleeping on the deck because it was so cramped and stuff. So we're like, let's get rid of it. But
man,
yeah, that reminds me of one time when we were, it was just me, Steve, and Sean. We played in like Salt Lake or something, and we stayed in a Walmart parking lot in some area of Utah, and we woke up the next morning, and I always wake up last, and Steve and Sean always wake up first, and they always go walking or go get coffee or whatever. And they went in Walmart to like brush their teeth or something like that. And I woke up, and I had this like Shane just said that deck was heinous. I realized that like something was like messed up with my ears, like there was something blocking or something like that. And so I called Steve, and I said, "Hey, get me some Q-tips." And he was like, okay. And so he went over, and he's like, they only come in packs of 100, dude. Like, I was like, I just need like 2. And he was like, I'm not buying you 100. I was like, please buy me them. And so he came back with the bag and like threw it at me. And in the bag was 100 Q-tips and a diaper out of a vending machine. He was like, you big baby.
That's so funny. Yeah, we are, before we started touring with a trailer, because now that we have a trailer, we just like literally we leave one bench, and then we have like literally a queen size bed in the back. Like not a literal bed, but it's like a mattress topper, and it's pretty
do you have a conversion van?
Yeah, I do have a conversion van.
That rips.
So but the bench that folds, you know how like in the back of a conversion van that bench folds down?
Mm-hmm.
What we did is we took the captain's chairs out from the middle, and we moved the bench to the middle.
Oh, yeah.
So we have 2 front seats, a bench that folds down into a bed, and then just a mattress topper that can comfortably fit 2 people.
Oh,
so that's been our rig. But
before
we did that, like when we'd sleep in the van, dude, it was so miserable. Like we had like an 8x10 that was parallel to the bench in the back, and there would be 2 people on that bench, somebody sleeping on top of the 8x10 cab. And
sorry, Andy.
No, it was actually never Andy. And then there was we had a cooler because every tour you're like, yeah, we're gonna get groceries, we're gonna be healthy, and then it's like, no, there's craft singles rotting in the cooler, we can't open it or we're all gonna die of asphyxiation.
Yeah,
because it's rotting. But there was a cooler in between the two front seats.
That's what we always do. Yep.
And would have someone sleep across the cooler and the front seats, and it was fucking. It was so dark.
For 20 minutes a night. Yeah.
No, I got the floor.
Andy just said I got the floor every night.
Because Andy and I were sharing the part that folds down.
Oh,
but dude, it was so hot. Obviously you sleep in a van, and we would like not wear our shirts, and we'd be sleeping, and we'd wake up and our backs were just like,
oh, dude.
Our backs would we'd wake up in the morning and our backs were peeling apart like a grilled cheese. Just brutal. So
Andy grilled cheese, but way worse.
Andy would sleep on in the 1 foot compartment between the bench and the front seats. Just
yeah, dude. So Sean just said we always would the floor was the prime spot because you had leg room. And then, dude, oh my gosh. Yeah, the other reason that we took it out was because it went it was the 2 front seats, and then behind that was there was not a bench seat right behind the 2 front. And it was the one that was 2 back, and then it was empty in the middle. And then the thing that we had built, that deck we were just talking about, was basically over to the left, and it was like a sectional couch over there. So you could put your feet up if you sat to the left when we were driving. And then it would all accordion out into a bed. And but what ended up, it just didn't fit 4 of us. So what we ended up doing when we slept in the van was one person would sleep with their head to the window and their feet this way. And then the other person would sleep on the sectional thing with their head up against the driver's seat. And so our feet were all together the whole night and stuff. And then one person would be on the floor just living it up. And then Shane would always inevitably be in the passenger seat, not sleeping, of course. And because he was always the one I would wake up, and whenever we'd be getting kicked out of a parking lot, he'd be driving because he was just not sleeping anyway.
Dude, so brutal, so brutal. That's why I've always never wanted to tour with the trailer, but when we did that last tour, that I was telling you about last night, I was like, we have to take a trailer because we're not going to be able to afford, as I told you, we're not going to be able to afford any kind of lodging, nor do we even have time?
Yeah.
People were like, oh, why don't you just stay with a friend? I'm like, because if I sleep at a friend's house for more than 1 hour, I will miss my set.
Yeah. Holy crap. Oh, dude, because what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, because when you tour with bigger bands, they have a driver that drives from 2 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Yeah, and when you're in my band, you have a bandmate who drives from 2 a.m. to 9 a.m.
and then plays the set and then sleeps the rest of the show and doesn't have a good tour at all.
So brutal. So brutal. Dude,
man.
Instagram Live cuts off the show after the 1 hour mark.
Cool.
So we've got 57 seconds. Anything else?
Dude,
you want to plug, talk about?
Dude, I mean, a bunch of people on here are my buddies, but if anybody wants anything out of skateboards or knives or anything like that, I'm not working as much right now, and obviously we're not touring, and so I know people are looking for ways to support artists and stuff like that, and I am doing a bunch of that stuff. And then other than that, we've got songs coming out all the time. We got cool stuff happening with the band. The record's coming out May 1st, and it's gonna be bitching, dude. Thanks for having me. I'm pumped.
Dude, I'm glad we got to do this. We got 19 seconds. I'm gonna every single show it gets cut off, so I'm gonna end it properly right now. I'm gonna text you right now about making me a knife, and we'll get that going. Thank you for being here. Thanks for watching, everybody. We got 4, 3, 2,
Love you, dog.
See ya.